Hello internet. I feel like there's not enough reviews about these Alfarad motorcycles. A lot of people just driving them, but not talking about how they actually drive. And I feel obligatory to make one, as I have the absolute pleasure of having these two different Alfarads and having the absolute pleasure of using them for what they intended. I have here the Alfarad R6, it's upside down now, and I have here the Alfarad, where is it? A8, there it is, A8. And I took off the stickers of the Alfarad, the R6, because I thought black would look very, very nice, like the clean motorcycle like that. That's pretty amazing, I think. But of course, they have also a purpose. They are some kind of scratch protection. Obviously, they're using just plastic, which is very prone to scratches. And definitely when you're driving them out there in the wild, you know, you use these bikes. So I haven't done that with the other one, the A8. Because I think they look pretty messy, as all motorcycles, off-road motorcycles do. But still, I took the black one. Was pretty nice. I put the Pasha sticker on there. The modification on this one also, I put some mirrors here, you can see, and then I put a skid guard here. Because it just came open, and you have these lines of your cooling system. This motor is still hot. I just came of a nice ride. I'm waiting to cool them down to wash them. Let me guys know if you guys think washing a motorcycle every time after you drive it is a good or a bad idea. I always wait until the motorcycle is cooled down until I actually drive them. Actually wash them. So I put this plastic. This is like a special plastic. When you heat it, you can mold it in different directions. So I made a nice skid guard, because you know they really get used. And this one actually already broke. So that one came with one installed, but that one already broke. This one I made myself. What's other also that I modified on this bike? Yeah, nothing actually. The bike's completely how it came. This one I bought already put together, but this one, when I bought it, it came as a, let me put a wide angle, as a as a kit. You know, the tires were not installed. You had to put the suspension thing back in. That's actually pretty nice, because I bought them in Holland, and then I drove them to another country, and so I just couldn't, you know, it was very small and very efficiently packed. A friend of mine actually took it, and that one I put in the back of my own. This one is actually water cooled, and the other one is just air cooled. So that's standard. So what is there to talk about these bikes? They are amazing. They're really, really, really good for what you pay for them, and what you get. That is pretty impressive. All right, it's really, you know, if you have the right place to drive, which I do. I have the luck or the luxury of having a very big nature park close to my house, so I can actually cross the street and start driving. You know, they don't have license, of course, because they're off-road bikes. But you know, I have the freedom of just driving across the street and then start ripping nature up, which is a blessing in some way. So what are these bikes to drive? What do you get? You get price point of this bike was, I think, 1,004, and this one 1,006 that I bought them. I got crazy prices, euros, crazy prices from some dudes. Both were new. That one had 3 hours on the clock, and that one had 0 on the clock. Actually, there was no clock. I had to install it myself. So this clock is new. The hours doesn't, it's not saying there. The hour doesn't show up yet. But I had a lot of fun with them. Like really, really amazing. I drive them mostly, let's say, 1 hour at a time. I drive pretty heavily 1 hour, and then, you know, have a very big smile on my face, and I can go on with the rest of my day. And also I take friends and such, and we drive mostly an hour and a half, like that maximum. I never drive longer than that, because it's pretty taxing, and definitely I'm not a very good driver, but yeah, it's still you know, it takes it's taxing, so it's pretty nice. After an hour, I'm pretty happy with them. So during that hour, I never had any issues with that motorcycles. This one I had to fixed a tire. The back tire blew up. That's not strange. It just went flat. Actually, I only saw it when it was back in the garage, so that's not a problem. I wasn't stuck in nature. But I just recently also changed that battery. The battery died. Of course, when you buy 1,600 euros for a new motorcycle, you won't you won't get a battery of 300 euros. So I put one new in. It was actually a little bit bigger than the original one, but it fits, you know, with some handling. It's actually underneath this one. You just need to remove one bolt and then you get it up here. It went very smoothly. The motorcycle starts very quickly. It is very nice. It also has a Kickstarter, which is very nice when your battery dies, and the engines has almost no compression, so you can just do it with your hand, which is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty special. The compression in the engines is very low, but they rip. This one is 300cc, that's 250, but both of them, they have, because I'm driving only off-road, they have plenty of power to enjoy and to play off-road. They can drive both around 100 kilometers an hour, which I wouldn't suggest doing on a dirt road, although a friend of mine actually, I think, took it to the limit, and I was driving not with that one but another one, a Honda CRF. So I have a few bikes I can compare it with. But this one was, you know, he was really ripping it, and you know, it goes. You get both front and back disc brakes. You get adjustable front suspension. You get adjustable back suspension, like gas pistons right here. I left them completely the way they are. I'm not a mechanic, I just do my maintenance. This one has an oil filter, small one. You have to change the oil every 15 hours with these bikes, which is pretty impressive. If you get them, you know, it's cheap oil, obviously. From the price point, they cannot put a Shell oil in there. So I would say let it run for a little bit, so the engine gets like all its shavings off. Wash the oil away and get new oil in, and so this every 15 hours, which is I think pretty impressive. This one doesn't have an oil filter. That's a strange thing, because the oil circulation is so quick, it doesn't even have an oil filter. But that's an important thing to know. Changing oil is actually very easy. You just put the drain plug down there, open it. You have to open in this one here. You have to open here a little cover. There you can get like a little oil filter, but it's not a replaceable. But it's actually just a sieve, so actually you don't have to do this. Here you have to just put this cover out, and then the filter is in there. Now you can replace it. They're very cheap. You can buy them, of course, from China. And what's next to the tires? So of course these aren't amazing tires or something. They wore a bit because you know, you use them, but they have plenty of grip. They're really good. Like I got the CRF 300L from Honda, and they come. He is still on the stock tires, and these tires. You know, these tires on these motorcycles are way better. They have way more off-road grip than the one from the Honda. It's a massive difference. Of course, these tires were probably nylon, so don't drive them in the wet on the roads. You'll be very disappointed with them. But driving off-road in dirt, in soft sand, in mud, they grip and they keep on gripping. Of course, the 300cc have plenty of power, so if you rip it in most of the gears, you just spin your tire, which is so nice, you know, with these bikes. What's the difference also with these tires? The front one, this one have a bigger tire, a little bit thinner. That one has a wider tire, a little bit smaller. This one is more nimble. You really feel the difference. So this is actually an easier bike to drive. It's easier to turn left and right, just because I think the tires are a bit smaller. And this one has bigger tires, but it is of course more stable in higher speeds. But they are so much fun. I don't think I crashed that one. Yeah, a friend of mine crashed that one. So this is a bit bent, but the motorcycle was totally fine. I crashed that one. I think on the first drive I crashed it. My front wheel gets stuck in two of these holes in the floor. The bike is still totally fine. I use the electric starter all the time. This electric starter goes very quickly. It starts very nice. This one has a very special choke though. It's just this little plug right here, and you put it up for choke and then down like this. So this is actually a very annoying place, like this, up and down. Very annoying place to do so. but they work. So you just put them up, don't gas, just pull the starter. It starts, let it run, let it heat up. It vibrates so hard that here on the concrete it actually moves. But then let it heat up until it's warm enough. You can put the choke down, and that one stays running very smoothly. This one though is a very special choke. This one has 3 stands. Like this is only to start, then it starts pretty quickly. Second, and then you have it completely off. Let me think what's actually the choke. And anyway, they have three positions. There we go, 3 positions. But you know, you will get to know them pretty easily. I see here the isolation tape comes off a bit. This is the 250cc normal shifting, like all of them do. The chain, for some weird reason, the chain is staying more dirty than the Honda. Also at this chain, for some weird reason, because I washed them and cleaned them and oiled them the same way as the Honda chains, they are actually yeah, the dirt sticks more to them. I have no idea why. Spoked rims, again, that's pretty nice sounding exhaust. You have a lot of pop on them, like when you go off the gas. These bikes are great. They look great as well, the exhaust, I think. You know, for this one I paid 1,600 euros. What you get is pretty amazing. Like, the package is very nice. Suspension on these bikes, they are of course a bit stiff, and you feel like you're not driving a Husqvarna or something. No, you're driving of course a cheap, they say Germany. I doubt that. Probably put in the crate in Germany, but these are Romanian bikes, and yeah, these are very similar to the Chinese bikes actually. But the quality is amazing. The quality is of course not amazing, but the pleasure you get is amazing. The value for money is amazing. So dare I say, might be the best bikes you can buy for a cheap price. I would definitely recommend them. Of course, they still have low hours, 30 hours, but there's of course 30 hours of beating it in the bush. But they, you know, they drive very, very nice. This starter though is, I don't have the key right now in there, but this starter is actually a bit too, how can I say? It's a little bit too weak. You feel it. It has a lot of problems. It has to work very hard to get that engine running. It starts every time. I haven't had to kick the start it, but still it feels a little bit strange, and I noticed some of my friends have difficulty starting it. But my friend told me it's actually the thing that is inverting the power from the battery, so that's they put just a cheap one in. That starter is way more smooth than this one. But still, it still works. Again, it has the kicker when you drain your battery. Very low compression again, also with that engine. It revs very quickly. It's very nice to you know, to play with, on the dirt. These engines have plenty of power. I haven't had in the 30 hours of driving any structural maintenance on the engine, although I feel that of course the embrayage, the clutch is of course not the best. You know, the quality of these things is not the best, but again, I paid 1,000 euros for that one and 1,600 for that one. That is amazing. You get such a big value, such a lot of fun. So I would say, if you have not much money to spare and you would like to buy a bike just to play in the dirt, depending on where you are, you get them for a very good price. I saw them also sold on Amazon. I saw them sold on different kind of places. But I think you would have a lot of fun. Obviously, don't expect the quality of a Husqvarna or a Gas. You of course get what you pay for, but you get a lot. Like my Honda is, I think, 6,000 euros. It's not 6 times that bike. I would not, you know what I mean, because you get so much for this price, and then the progression in quality is getting slower and slower. So I would say, if you're looking into buying one, expect to don't get a very good German built motorcycle, but expect to get what you pay for, and expect a lot of fun, because that's what these bikes are. They are a lot of fun. These are of course not daily commuters. They don't have to drive on the roads because you don't have papers, but they are off-road buckets of fun. They are the right tool for the right job. Rough tires, rough bikes, not too much complication, not too much electricity, good stuff. Go and get one and have some fun. Actually, I need to add some more remarks after being very, very positive and driving it for a while. I have had some issues with this beautiful one, the R6. So the first problem I had was I thought it was actually the carburetor. So I bought a new carburetor and fixed it. It's actually very cheap because they're Chinese parts. So the carburetor is was only, I think, less than 10 euros. But it was the CDI, actually the one that's the electrical component that is timing your explosion on the engine. But the strange thing was it was working sometimes, but when in higher revs it was not. So it felt very strange. It felt like it was a air fuel mixture problem or something like that. And that was very hard to find out. It was just there was just an electrical thing. It cost 3 euros. It was just pulling in a plug, putting it back in. Fine, it was fixed. Also, if you want to tune this carburetor, it is very hard to reach the screw you need to actually mix the air and fuel mixture. Look, it's the PZ30. That's the carburetor. It's called. It's very, very cheap, nice, simple carburetor. But yeah, it was very hard to tune it. Like there, you see, this is actually the screw I'm talking about. Focus, that's that one. So with a hot engine, hot exhaust, try to tune this one. That's not a joke. That is not easy at all. But now I have a different problem, and the problem is it always started relatively difficulty. It only has right now 43 hours of driving, so it only it started difficult. It always started difficult, but it starts the first time, and then after driving, so after when it's hot, I can't get it to start again. So when I stall it or something, I just can't get to start it again. And that's actually a problem. I was stuck once in nature already where I just couldn't start. I also have a broken knee, so kicking for me is pretty difficult. But of course, I did try for an hour. I did start it so many times with the electric starter that the battery went flat. So that's pretty sad. So then actually I pushed it through the dirt, which was very, very difficult. You know, actually, when pushing a bike through the dirt with your dirt bike gear on, then you notice how much friction these tires have. So this bike is a dream to drive. I really enjoy it. Also with the small tires, it is very, very nimble, and it's only 250cc, but it has plenty of power to have a lot of joy. But you know, these bikes, they deteriorate pretty quickly. So actually I pushed it eventually to the road to push it back home, and the road was a little bit steep, so I just bump started, and then it started, probably because it was cold or because I had enough momentum, because when pushing in the dirt you don't really have enough momentum. And then I started and I was able to drive home, but I was stuck for about 2 hours in nature, which was exhausting, let's call it like that. But the situation is, yeah, these are cheap bikes. These are cheap bikes. Again, you get what you pay for. Although I only paid this one 1,000 euros. And would I do it again after having that problem right now and not able to fix it? So if everybody knows what this problem is, please let me know, because I love to fix it. I love to keep playing with this bike. Yeah, I've actually no idea what it should be. But would I do it again? Would I buy it again? Even if my bike is broken after 43 hours? Yes, 1,000 euros. Even if I have to divide the 1,000 euros for the 43 hours, I had plenty of fun with that bike for that price. It was really, or it is still really a really nice bike to have. You feel everything is a little bit more loose and such. Fine, because it's a very cheap Chinese bike. Chinese, I'm not really sure, but they say Germany. I don't believe that. But I would actually do it again. This is a nice toy. It is a nice toy, and I use it to drive off-road all the time, 1 hour. So that's 43 times I went to nature, or I somebody else drove it or so. But yeah, it was worth it. Only sad that I had the problem right now. So actually I can drive it, and I do still ride it. But the moment I stall it, man, that's a scary moment. Yeah, that's ending on a little bit more negative note.